everyone, this is Ta. This video will be about the NCLEX. I will be answering some of the questions that I had about the NCLEX before taking the NCLEX. I also decided to make this video because watching videos about the NCLEX was super helpful for me. It calmed me down before taking the NCLEX. I also made this video because there were not a lot of videos about the NCLEX from people with my situation, from people who don't speak English as their primary language. And there were many times that I wonder if I can do it, if I can go through nursing school, if I can pass the NCLEX, if I can be a nurse. And I hope that this video is helpful for those people, for people who don't speak English as their primary language, and for people who are married or who have kids like me and who work. So again, I hope this video is helpful for some people, not all of the people, but some people. So let's get started. I passed the NCLEX with 75 questions and I only used Kaplan. Okay, so let's go to my first question. My first question is, how difficult is the NCLEX? After passing the NCLEX with 75 questions, I don't think the NCLEX is that difficult. I think it is very basic nursing stuff. If you pass nursing school fine, then you should be okay. You should be fine. You should be able to pass the NCLEX, I think, because it is very basic. I believe that if you don't pass the NCLEX, then you really cannot practice as a safe nurse. Now, saying this doesn't mean that people who don't pass the NCLEX don't know anything about nursing. I believe everybody who passes nursing school knows something about nursing and probably know a lot. But people fail the NCLEX for some other reason. Some people were sick the day before the NCLEX. Some people were sick the day of the NCLEX. Some people had other problems before and during the NCLEX. So again, I don't believe that people fail the NCLEX because they don't know anything about nursing. But I also believe that if you cannot pass the NCLEX, then you can't really be a safe nurse. Okay, so let's move on to next questions. How much study do I need? Again, based on the videos and the articles that I read and watched, people were studying many hours per day. Some people study 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours a day. Some study more than that. And I was anxious because I didn't study that much. I didn't have that much time to study. And I probably could study that much, but I didn't because my kids were out of school and I worked part-time and I was not that motivated to study 8 hours a day. So what I did was practicing 75 questions a day. At least 75 questions a day, almost every day for a month. And I had 2,700 something questions in total before taking the NCLEX. And that was enough for me, and I think that's enough for everyone. I think you are prepared to pass the NCLEX already with your nursing school. And I think 75 questions is enough. If you have a study plan, I would say stick to it. That's good. But if you don't have a study plan like me, then do at least 75 questions and review almost every single questions that you practiced. That's what I did. I reviewed almost every single question, not every one of them, of course, because some of the question I wish I already knew that I would get it right. So for those questions, I didn't really have to read deeply into the question, but for questions that I wasn't sure about, I would read the rationales and make sure that I know the concepts and the contents before moving on, and that was helpful. doing that made me feel so much better. It um, it didn't make me feel like I had to go back and review. So yeah, um, so yeah. Anyway, I did have a study plan during nursing school because I was busy, like during my final semester of nursing school, because I was busy with classes and clinicals. So of course I had to have a study plan so I could squeeze everything into my schedule. But after graduation, I just went from everywhere to everywhere. um anyway, 75 questions a day and review every single one of them. Okay, let's move on to next question. What should I use? So I'm biased because I only used Kaplan and I only know Kaplan, and Kaplan was helpful for me. Um, it is helpful, and I think it played a role in me passing my NCLEX in 75 questions. One thing that I didn't really like it was there were typos in some of the questions, and I sent a lot of emails to Kaplan regarding those typos. I was kind of angry at them from time to time because they are a professional company. They do this for a living and they need to be responsible. To me, typos are signs of negligence and signs of carelessness. So I was kind of angry, but I would rate it them probably like 8 or 9 out of 10. So whatever resource you use, just use them wisely. Okay, now let's move on to the final questions. What should I focus? So nursing is a lot. Nursing is a lot. Even 4 years of nursing school didn't teach me everything about nursing. And I believe that even experienced nurses don't know everything about nursing. But what you learn during nursing school teach you the basic nursing stuff. Um, what you learn in nursing school should prep you to be a basic nurse, a safe basic nurse. It should prep you to pass the NCLEX. And yeah, I don't know what to tell you on what to focus. A concept that I learned from my studying for the NCLEX and from my nursing experience in general, safety is always a priority. Safety is everything in nursing. So whenever you read a question, whatever situation you're in, you always have to consider safety, whether it is a fall, whether it is a suicide, whether it is a infection or a risk of infection, whether it is a fire risk or anything. You always have to do whatever it takes to prevent that from happening, and that's why safety is always a priority. Another concept that I learned is knowing your nursing skills. During my NCLEX, I had a few questions about nursing skills. I had one particular one. It was about IV, and I was confident that I got that one right because I had my capstone in a surgical unit and I did IV all the time, and I became really good at it. So yeah, I also had a few, like probably 10 plus question about mental health, and I was confident because I had a minor in psychology focused mainly on health psychology, abnormal behaviors, stress psychology, and motivational interviews. And with dealing with people who have mental conditions, those are very helpful, like those motivational interview skills. They were helpful, and I was confident that I am still confident that these questions helped me a lot during my NCLEX. Infection control is also a big one, and it is a part of safety. You have to know what to do to break the chain of infection. knowing to wash your hand or knowing how to do skills safely without contaminating or without spreading infection is important. I also memorized labs for the NCLEX, but I did not have any lab value questions. From my NCLEX, I also did not have any questions regarding maternities and pediatric, which is good because I believe I was weak in those areas. So that is it for my questions. My final message for you is to always remember that you already have what it needs. You pass nursing school fine and you are already a nurse. You just have to take the test. Kaplan, those resources that you use, Kaplan, UWorld, or any other resource that you use, they only make you more comfortable taking tests. But you already know what you need. You already know your nursing stuff from nursing school. And just believe in yourself. You are capable. You pass your nursing classes. You are already a nurse, and so don't be too nervous. You will feel so much better, and you will be like me, reflecting back after passing your NCLEX. You will reflect back, and you will say to yourself, it's not really that bad. It's really quite possible. So yeah, I hope that helped, and I will see you next time. Bye.